Hello and welcome back to another Doctor Who action figure review. In today's review we're going to be taking a look at this brand new B&M exclusive, which is the robot set, which features the likes of the K1 robot and the 4th Doctor based on the 1974 story Robot. Now, the set was originally supposed to debut at the end of 2021. However, due to the ongoing crisis of the lack of lorry drivers and the pandemic, this set has only just reached stores this upcoming month. But the wait is finally over, and I can safely say that this is a brilliant set on a whole and is a great way for people who may have missed out on that collect and build variant that came out way back in 2008. So it's a huge plus for those said fans. But as ever, let's first take a look at the packaging. So the figures are displayed in this lovely windowed box display, a slightly newer version considering how tall the K1 robot is. They've had to make way of making the box a bit larger, but for the rest of it, it's pretty much what you would expect with these figures. The styler guide is this lovely blue and silver livery with the TARDIS and the current logo on the side, the gold limited edition foil sticker, and the red box stating the sizing of these figures. On the back, you have some promotional images of the figures themselves, as well as the synopsis of the story Robot. Opening up the box, you get this lovely diorama backdrop of Professor Kettlewell's laboratory, which is where the Doctor and Robot first met. Like I always say, they are a nice display piece for collectors who may have a large quantity of space to actually keep these. But I don't, so I will be putting it up on eBay for the chance for fans to own this iconic piece. This is, of course, a joke. So taking the figures out of the box, they are just astonishing pieces to own. The paint updates really are an improvement, and like I said earlier, the K1 robot was originally a collect and build figure that I remember getting all those years ago. And sadly, a lot of people missed out on that. But with this set, a lot of things have changed since their original release. So starting off with the K1 robot, this is probably the main focal point for many fans out there who want to buy this set. And I can't really blame them either, as it's such an amazing figure. A lot of people have been begging for a re-release for years due to the rarity of the original release. But considering I own the original myself from way back when, I still wanted to track down this set for collector's purposes and plus to see the stunning updates in person. The majority of the body itself has been painted in this lovely vibrant silver, as was used on the many recent Dalek releases, and it definitely works on the K1 robot. Another difference is in fact the lens part on the head, as well as the stripes on the body that were originally red on the original release. This time around they've been painted in more of a pinkish hue colour that is a closer approximation that was seen on screen. One other difference is that the mesh around the mouth is now completely black, instead of just being silver and black like on the original. Now, from what I can tell in photos, this itself is in fact incorrect, as the original did get that bit just right, but it is only a slight nitpick. But moving on to other things that they got right was in fact the neck section that has been painted in more of a matte grey, which is really nice. With regards to other details, such as the little bolts and the tubing that is located on the chest section, which is made out of some sort of rubber, I mean the tubes are anyhow, and the paint apps on the small little details look great, and there doesn't seem to be a paint bleed in sight. Same thing on the back, all the little pieces that make up this costume have been painted in black and silver, along with all the pipes and tubing connecting the neck to the main body. Another new addition is of course the left claw that has been made a lot thinner this time around. Now, this is indeed accurate to what was seen on the show, because when K1 was actually holding the disintegrator gun, they gave him a much thinner claw. Now, I don't know whether it was made because it was easier for the gun to be held that way, but who knows. I just love the fact that they've added this little detail here. Now moving on to the cons of this toy, and that is unfortunately that he doesn't stand as well as the original figure. The joint between the chest section and the hips seems to be extremely loose. Even trying to display him now is a tad bit difficult, as the top section of the toy is rather top heavy. It is a disappointment for fans who may be buying this figure for the first time around. However, certain YouTubers such as Captain Jimmy Pie has come up with solutions to fix this problem, and I myself will try this technique when I can be bothered to, essentially, but a link to his video will be mentioned in the description below. Another thing to mention is that the arms themselves seem to be pretty loose as well, especially when you're trying to pose him with the gun. It doesn't want to support the weight like the original one did, and it does droop down over time. Again, it's just another nitpick over quality control, but again, it's another nitpick over quality control. But like I said, it's a shame for people in the fandom who may have been wanting one of these to be given something that is difficult to recreate certain poses with. Quickly taking a look at accessories, the K1 robot comes with his disintegrator gun, which has been very well sculpted, just like the original, but this time around the prop has been coated in the same bright silver as the K1 robot, but with gold highlights on certain sections of the gun, such as the nozzle and all the components and whatnot, all really nicely sculpted, and the robot can hold this weapon by placing it into the thinner hand with ease. But another pro that I must admit is that the wrist sections around the claws doesn't seem to have that flaking problem that the original one did. I remember mine pretty much coming off straight out of the box before I even assembled mine, and I'm actually quite pleased that this variant hasn't got the same issue. Overall, on the K1 robot, I will admit, it's still a great figure nonetheless. I know most people are gutted that because of the loose joints, you have to pose him in weird positions that make him look kind of similar to how the costume looked in early exhibition photos, but at the end of the day, this figure is still what I would call a work of art. Aljawar has done a superb job, not only recreating the figure that people have been desiring to have, and I admire his work along with character options for re-releasing this toy for many fans who may have missed out on the original. So I am really amazed that this happened. Now, for articulation for the K1 robot, it has got quite a lot. So, you know, he's got head movement, and you can make it move and do a full 360, but I don't recommend doing that because you can damage the paint on the figure. For the arms, they can, well, if you want to call them shoulders, you can, but like they can sort of move side to side, and also because it's on a ball joint, they can move out to the side. He has also got wrist articulation, but mine seem to be so stiff I don't really want to damage them. But believe me, it is there. He also has waist articulation, and this is the major problem. Same with the arms, actually. They're extremely loose, and I have said this before, but it is a huge shame. But there you go. I mean, you have to hold him like while I'm doing this because it's so wobbly. He also has leg articulation, and they can move like that. And you can also move his little feet. So that is pretty cool as well. So you can make him sort of stand in dynamic poses. And this is probably how I'm going to have to pose him on the shelf to stop him falling over. Yeah, so that's the K1 robot. So moving on to the Fourth Doctor, this was another figure that fans have been craving for a long time, considering the last one was released around 2010, and finally we have a slightly updated look for him. This time around he does come with his different head, which is the same head that was used on the Seeds of Doom Fourth Doctor, along with the Sontaran Experiment set Fourth Doctor, and I think in the Toys R Us exclusive one. The updates on this version are a vast improvement, and it's safe to say that this has to be the ultimate look for this variant of the Fourth Doctor. So, as I've said, the head is the same head used on previous Fourth Doctor releases. The only difference being is that the hat has been painted brown instead of green, with the ribbon being painted in a darker brown. The paint apps on the face are also superb, with the likes around the eyes and the nose. You can instantly tell it's supposed to be Tom Baker. The hair has also been painted in a dark brown colour with a lighter wash over the top to make all the creases in the hair and the curls just pop out. It just looks so cool. The scarf itself is exactly the same as seen on the original release. However, the dirty wash isn't present on this updated release. Then moving down to the body, the safari jacket, also known as a Norfolk jacket, has been painted in this vibrant red colour with the grey elbow patches on the back of the arms. And for some odd reason, they have seemed to have painted the buttons gold, which I find rather odd, considering on the actual jacket they were in fact brown. This is my only major gripe about this new figure, but it doesn't upset me too much, and it can actually just be fixed with some brown paint. Next, we have the shirt, cardigan, and necktie, which has finally been corrected as for some odd reason, the tie and cardigan were painted incorrectly for many previous releases. The colours on those releases were for some reason painted to represent his Prince of Wales checkered design waistcoat, as well as the scarf being painted to represent his orange cravat. Now, this did bug me and many fans for a considerable amount of years, as the original release didn't have that issue. But here, not only have they corrected it, they have gone above and beyond to add further details to the scarf to represent the pattern on there with all these black and cream coloured lines. They have also reinstated the pattern on the cardigan that was seen on the original toy. But this time, there does seem to be more diamonds this time around. But unfortunately, they have painted over the chain detail of the sculpt, and it is a bit of a shame, but there you go. Essentially, it's nothing you can really do about it. Now, the only minor detail missing on this figure, what that was present, was the checkered design of the shirt, which has unfortunately been missed out on. I think personally for me, it's not a major issue, but if that detail was on the shirt, I think this would have made this the most accurate Fourth Doctor figure to date. Then moving down to the trousers, they have been given the same treatment that was last seen on the Terror of the Zygon set, where they had painted the speckled detail on top of the grey base coat. And again, this is a vast improvement, and I'm so glad that detail is here, as it was so successful on the Zygon's variant, and it does look closer to his tweed pattern that was seen on the actual trousers themselves. I absolutely love the sheer amount of updates that have been added to the figure, and it's given it a new lease of life for fans to cherish. So, articulation for the Fourth Doctor. The head can slightly turn side to side, but it's hindered by the scarf, but the head is removable, so if you decide to remove that, the head can move a bit better. The arms can also do a full 360. Biceps can do a full 360. He has also got elbow joints here that can do a 90-degree angle. The wrists can also turn a full 360. He's also got waist articulation, a T-crotch joint, so his legs can move forward and out to the side, but again, hindered by the coat, so you can't really do it. He has also got thigh articulation, and he can also bend at the knee. Overall, I absolutely love this new set. It's an amazing opportunity for fans who may have missed out on the original version, but this just improves so much on those previous releases. Even though some of the joints on the K1 robot are loose, it still doesn't take any enjoyment out of the toy whatsoever. The Fourth Doctor itself is a fine addition for fans who may have wanted a Fourth Doctor to add to their collection, and it's definitely a vast improvement from what we've seen in the past. So if you're after this set, then I highly recommend trying your local B&M store to find it, and it seems fairly distributed this time around. So thank you all for watching, and hopefully I'll be seeing you again really soon, sooner than you expected. But till then, bye for now.